Hey, welcome back to the BTTN. This is a BDE presentation, best damn evaluations. Speaking of some BDE, look at this motherfucker here. So much BDE, you can't believe it. That's why he's, just on display like this. You can't contain it. No garment can fit it. Had to get it personally fit. This is David, Guardian Angel. Alright, so we're going to do a draft video based off the combine. Combines in the books. I'm going to do wide receivers. I'm going to try to make this not turn into a Luther Burden hate video. I got some things to say about Luther Burden. I was going to do like a winners and losers thing, but I just don't feel like doing the graphics and stuff for winners and losers. I don't want to like... There's a lot of graphics. It's going to be one of my better presentations, hopefully. There's a lot of moving parts. I'm going to try to make it kind of coordinated and hopefully it flows good. It's not too confusing. It's not too convoluted or, just overwhelming. Hopefully it's good information. It's good content. And maybe you come away with this feeling a little bit better about these prospects. In this draft, a little bit more information, and it's definitely probably going to be something that you're not hearing from anyone else, definitely when it comes to Luther Burden. Alright, let me switch it up, I guess. Let's see. Alright, that's good. These are the top 5 prospects according to NFL Next Gen Stats. That's pretty cool. If you go to NFL, go to Combine Tracker or something. Let me see. Kind of see. What is it exactly? Well, if you just go to Combine Home, there's like a top tab, and there's Combine. No, it's Combine IQ. Go to Combine IQ and Combine Central. You can do that for any position. It has a whole bunch of data. A lot of these graphics are going to come from this website, the Next Gen Stats and stuff, because it's pretty cool. Apparently, they've been doing it the last 3 years. 2023, 2024, and 2025 drafts have kind of this next level analytics. Helps put some things in perspective. Now, some of it doesn't quite add up. And we'll get into that as we go. But yeah, this is the overall score. Is their production score and athleticism score combined. Just to kind of tell you, the production score is weird. How productive was a prospect in college? And then in parentheses it says combined with draft expert grades. That is the kicker. Combined with draft expert grades. Because the production doesn't add up. They have a 78 production score for Burden. They have a 78 for Higgins, a 76 for Orioles, a 74 for Golden. I think they have a 78 for Igbuka as well. Igbuka and Higgins all were more productive than Burden, at least in 2024. So now if you're going over their career, I mean, Higgins still probably was. He was very productive. Hillside or something. I don't know. He was at like a Division II school before he came to Iowa State. Jalen Warles was more productive as well, I believe. Matthew Golden, he's not there. Buka, he had a really good 2022. 2023 was a letdown, and then he had an okay 2024. So, I think Torrey Horton's more productive than Burden. Burden should not be 78 on production, but it is what it is. Like I said, I'm not going to try to make this a I hate Burden video. So just to get to some of the results for the combine, this is one of the next gen stats right here. It's the top 10 top speed. Isaiah Gold is number 1. He ran a 4.39 40. I hear you. It wasn't, beating Xavier Worthy, all that stuff. But he is the fastest out of the wide receivers in this draft. Make no mistake, it is significant. 24.17. No one else got over 23.7. He's at least, was it tenths? 5 tenths, I guess, faster than second fastest. Now, Thornton ran a 4.3. Which is funny because their 10-yard split is the same. 1.51, 1.51, although his 10-yard miles per hour, I guess, at the 10-yard mark was significantly less than Thornton. So, I guess Thornton reaches his top speed faster. Yet Isaiah Bond technically accelerate. Is this where he kind of doesn't add up? Like, you have the same 10-yard split. You have the fastest top speed, but you have a slower 40. So in the next 30 yards, you technically hit a higher top speed, but you ran it slower. It doesn't completely add up. It's confusing. So I don't know. Maybe there could have been a stumble there. Maybe the transitions between, all the sprint techniques. I mean, you got the drive initially. And the drive's like the first 10 to 15 yards, I guess. Head down, high knees, whatever. You're generating your momentum. And then once you get it, I guess you start turning that to gazelle. And it's almost like you're just kind of like a skipping rock. You're like barely just touching the ground, tapping it and going. And how you have your arms. And it's a lot about technique right there. So I don't know all that. It doesn't all the way add up. Then you got max acceleration. What is max acceleration is shown in yards per second squared. I don't know what the fuck that means. Some smart people, I guess, think it means something. I have no idea. This is like, I don't know how much all this is. But I do trust the top speed. Xavier Worthy, I think, was 24.3, 24.4. It's the fastest top speed out of any combine, according to the data. I've only really been doing this for the last 3 years, though. Matthew Golden, 4.29. One of the fastest 10-yard splits, a 1.49. And roughly the same speed at the 10-yard mark as Isaiah Bond. Thornton's 10-yard mark, for being 6'4", that's crazy. To get to 18.71, 10 yards down the field is, man, I liked him before because I was looking at him. He's like, they said him 6'5", I think 210. He didn't have a lot of targets, a lot of yards, but he had like 6 touchdowns and like 40 receptions and like a 20-yard average. Like, I guess that would give him like 800 yards. So he didn't have 40 receptions, but he had like 400 yards on like very few receptions and a lot of touchdowns, a high touchdown rate. I don't know. Nico's not the best passing quarterback. Thornton's someone to fucking look at, man. That was impressive. And he looked good running it, too. He looks natural as fuck. One of the highest max acceleration rates, too, at 6.38 right there. Jordan Watkins, Ole Miss. He's a fast guy, but I'm not taking too much there. Aaron Smith, I'm not putting too much there either. Ty Felton, he had a lot of volume. 4.37. I'm not expecting to run that fast. 23.4 miles per hour top speed. I mean, 18.65 at the 10-yard mark. Quick accelerator. Like I said, he was a high volume kind of guy. I'm looking forward. I'm kind of excited about Ty. Anyways, this is the top 10. You got Jalen Lane, Keandre Lambert-Smith. Not all these dudes, like Shamir Dyke, Dominique Lovett, Jordan Watkins, Aaron Smith. I'm kind of like whatever. Keandre Lambert-Smith, he actually did pretty good at Auburn. They brought in pretty good freshman class wide receivers, Cam Coleman and Perry Thompson III, and I think there was another one that was pretty good. So there was definitely some competition for targets, and they had some questionable quarterback play. Could have held him back a little bit, but I think he's roughly like 6'1", 200 pounds, running that fast. Yeah, that's someone that maybe I'm looking at too. And all this does kind of tie into Burton, but ultimately I want to talk about the whole class and wide receivers, but it is going to kind of get back to Burton in a second, in a big way. But I just want to get these kind of top 20 out. Here's 11 through 20. You got Jimmy Horn, 11. Jalen Noel, that's one I'm looking at. 4.39, 23 miles per hour, 151, 10-yard split. Pretty heavy usage. Savion Williams. I thought he was gonna be 6'5". He ended up being like 6'3 3/4", so he's basically 6'4". 4.48 40 time, but a 23 top speed, 23 miles per hour. 1.52 10-yard split at 6'4". Um, that's impressive. He was used kind of as a running back the second half of the year. The NFL asked him to train as a running back. I like that cat, man. I'm very excited about him. Intrigued, I guess. He's older, but he was real green. He played wide receiver in high school, but he didn't really play for a school that threw the ball a lot. His senior year, I guess they lost their quarterback, and he was their best athlete, and they weren't really going to be able to get the ball in his hands if he played wide receiver, so they changed him to quarterback. I think he led them to the playoffs, led them maybe pretty deep in the playoffs, but anyways, yeah, he didn't even play wide receiver senior year in high school, so he was already kind of green playing out of high school, didn't really throw the ball a lot. Then you skip a whole year and don't even play the position, go to college. So basically, you're redshirting right off the bat. You got COVID kind of that hits too. When you first finally start playing, it's like 14 targets, 14. It's just nothing. He really kind of just had a slow time developing, and then you know TCU had their own issues with quarterback and stuff, and then you had Quentin Johnson and Monty Bailey or whatever. I don't know. They had a pretty good running game. I don't know. I'm not trying to make excuses. We can make excuses for Burden and everyone else, but I'm not going to try to make excuses for someone. But he's intriguing. His film, he has some mental drops. Seems like he loses focus. Seems like he's looking to make a player. Because he is. He's similar to Burden. I mean, he is a yak kind of guy. I mean, hence him playing running back. And when he played running back, they typically motion him in. It would be like kind of like a offset shotgun T kind of formation. The quarterback would be like the deepest person in the midfield, and he'd have two running backs offset him on each side of him, kind of like a yard in front. And then you'd motion Savion Williams in there almost like a pistol and create like a diamond formation. And the second he did that, defense basically knew, hey, this is a run. So it was kind of telegraphed. It was pretty easy, and he's getting hit kind of behind or at the line of scrimmage. He's basically already being touched, and TCU wasn't overpowering people. There wasn't John Holes, and man, he was a problem to get down. I mean, you really had to gang tackle him. He broke the first tackle almost every time. He falls forward. He runs with power. He's going to fall in line kind of like Cordell Patterson or Taysom Hill, but since he's been used as running back in college, he's been used as wide receiver, his athleticism, teams kind of know what he is and who he is. I'm hoping the team that drafts him uses him accordingly, and I do think there's a world where he maybe is more of a running back than a wide receiver. I'm actually not completely sold that world doesn't exist for Burden, honestly. But yeah, I'm very intrigued with that. Savion Williams, Caden Prather, both Maryland guys. Ty Felt went to Maryland too, right? Yeah, both Maryland guys did pretty good. 4.46 40, maybe slow, but the top speed again, almost 22 miles per hour. Good acceleration, 10-yard split speed. This motherfucker, Isaac Tesla. He has the highest athletic score. You see to the right over here. This next gen, you got overall, it's highlighted in blue, production, and athletic score. By the way, Burton's 79, the lowest of the bunch. Go figure. He's super explosive though, right? He's super explosive. I don't hate him. Trust me. It's just when everyone is. Let's focus on Tesla. He transferred from a small school too. Was really productive. Was I think a slow starter though. I think he redshirted in junior college or Division II. He might have went to Hillside. I feel like one of them went to Hillside, either him or Jaden Higgins. But yeah, he ends up winning some award, being like the offensive player of the year in his conference. Then transfers to Arkansas, and you got KJ Jefferson and Taylor Green as your quarterback. Not very good quarterbacks, although I did have some high expectations, or I was excited about KJ Jefferson last year. He had some injuries and stuff. Things didn't work out. And Taylor Green, he's just got an insane athletic profile. He'll probably end up changing positions, I think, to play in the NFL. I don't know if he's quite that athletic, but he's pretty athletic. And yeah, if he could throw, I was excited. He can't throw though, so position change maybe on the horizon. That being said, that impacted Tesla for sure. I mean, if you're gonna use situation things like that for Burden, you got to use it for other people. And Isaac Tesla is one of those that I'm not sure if he ends up in a good situation. He's not a fucking animal. 96, I think, athletic score is what he ends up with. I'll have that data here in a second. I got a graphic, but whew, I wish he was somewhere where he could have been used. I don't know if this motherfucker's gonna be like another Matt Jones. Of course, Matt Jones was a quarterback converted to wide receiver. At least Tesla's been playing wide receiver, but there's not a lot to go off of, honestly. I mean, 300 yards, I think, last year, 400 yards this year. You also got Armstrong, another pretty good wide receiver. He's not on this list, but yeah, he ran a 4.5 40. He's like 6'4". He's pretty good too, and I'm not sure what to expect from him either due to the same offense, same lack of usage. I mean, Luke Haas was kind of the most used receiver there. He transferred too. He said, fuck Arkansas, I'm done with this. I don't know. I'm putting words in his mouth. I don't know. Don't hate me, Arkansas. Don't hate me. Torrey Horton. Did he get injured this year? Jalen Morales got injured this year and got shut down. Torrey Horton was injured. I think he was injured this year because he played last year. He went up against Travis Hunter and he kind of torched Travis Hunter last year. Him and Elik Amanor both kind of had some really good games against the Colorado. Anyways, good. A lot of production. I think 2,000 yard, 2 seasons with 1,000 yards. Maybe not this past season. Like I said, I think he got injured, but almost 22 miles per hour, 4.41, same 40 as Burden. Higher top speed, faster 10-yard split, more production. Although they're giving him a 78 production score, but definitely more production for Torrey Horton. Yeah, I'm excited to see him run that fast too. I wasn't sure how he'd do with the injury. Kyle Williams, another one. Pretty good usage over there, Washington State. Had Cam Ward a year ago, lost Cam Ward, did it even without Cam Ward. Of course, he had, Mateer, who just transferred. And yeah, I don't want to go over everyone. There's Elik Amanor. I was not sure he was going to run that fast. I was really curious to see how he'd run. 4.44, 22.8 miles per hour. I mean, faster than Burden on the top speed. Faster than Burden on the max acceleration. Burden, the lowest max acceleration, by the way, on this whole list, too. The lowest speed at the 10-yard split. And the lowest top speed. Out of the top 20. I mean, there's people after this. I just did the top 20 just to... I keep hearing, he's so explosive. He's a deep threat. He's, they make it sound like he's this incredible athlete. And we have data here now that says... if he's explosive, then 19 dudes in front of him are more explosive. And essentially, if he's explosive, no one is where I'm at. Because, now we're just going to call everyone explosive, then, it's like the Incredibles. And if everyone's super, no one is, I mean, you're just throwing that term around. He's quick. He's good with the ball in his hand. He doesn't suck. But he's not a first-round talent in my mind. And nothing... People try to say he was a winner at the Combine. Almost every list say he's a winner. He proved doubters wrong. He ran a 4.41, which is slightly above average for the wide receiver position the last 3 years. I got data for that too. I might do a separate video though because I don't want this to be too long. I don't want to lose my mind. I also don't want it to turn to Lou the Bird and Hate video. It's more regress to the mean or let's step back and view reality. Let's view this through a more rational, tangible lens instead of the small 6-game sample size in 2023 where people are losing their mind. He had 7 weeks of insane production in 2023, and you're calling it the whole season. In all honesty, the second half of 2023 looked extremely similar to all of 2024. So instead of acting like 2024 is an anomaly, maybe let's look at that 6-7 week sample size as an anomaly. Especially when you look at the competition. I'm just saying. Did he show explosiveness? Yes. Did he make some plays? Yes. Good. Did he keep it up? No. Did it continue to happen? No. Have there been excuses made for him? Yes. Quarterback, situation. It's not Luther Burden's fault. No, it's not his fault at all. No. Yet Theo Weiss can, get 900 yards receiving in the same offense, in the same situation. It's just, it just is what it is. He's a talented young man. He is young. In all fairness, he was on the field for less pass snaps, but he did get, just as many targets, which, and then people go to the target share. Like, that translates to the NFL. Just because Missouri wanted to target him a lot doesn't mean the NFL team is going to do the same targeting. He had like 320 pass snaps. Tet had 500 in like 2 separate seasons. Burden's most pass snaps, I think, were this season. He didn't get over 350 in any season. So you're not talking about 150 less pass snaps. But that being said, his targets were he had 120 targets in 2023. Which goes to like 33% target share. But it's like, that's Missouri. That's their offense. Like, and it's a lot of design plays. It's at or behind the line of scrimmage. It's a lot of short yardage BS. Nothing downfield. And what I'm seeing is 22.8 miles per hour, 1.5 14-yard split, 4.71 max acceleration, 17.91 10-yard mile per hour speed at the 10-yard mark. I mean, that's not real explosive. A 4.41 is good. But this, once again, here we are, it doesn't add up. Because, like, his 10-yard split is a 1.54. His max speed is a 22.8. He's got the slowest mile per hour at the 10-yard. Which, I get that. Like, maybe he hits the 17.91 faster than some people. I mean, it's only 1.54, but you got 1.58. You got the ones that have the high, like Savion Williams, 4.48, 23 miles per hour, 1.5. So you got a faster 10-yard split. You got a faster mile per hour at the 10-yard. He has a faster. So maybe he stumbled in the last 30 yards. I guess you got to actually watch it. You got to know track technique or something. And that's another thing. Like, this is like a straight line, fucking no pads. It's not perfect, all right? And there is some, like, anomalies in the data. I'm not going to, like, act like this didn't all be all. But it is cool information to go through and look at. And if you really look at it, it doesn't look, or there's nothing here that says Luther Burden's any more explosive than at least 19 other guys. And I imagine 21, 22, 23 are really close to him too. Because if you look at 20 to like fucking 15, it's really close. There's like a 15 thousandths difference in mile per hour speed of those 5 spots. You're looking 4.43, 4.41, 4.4 flat. You got this outlier 4.49, but then you got 4.44, 4.41. 10-yard splits are roughly the same except for the 1.58. So, I mean, and this is probably close to the mean. If this is the bell curve, this is roughly where, the outliers are at the top. Like the fucking Isaiah Bond, Matthew Golden. And that's another funny thing. Isaiah Bond runs a fucking 4.39. And his max acceleration great, his 10 yards, but his top speed is insane. I mean, he is the fastest dude in the draft. That's what speed is, right? His top speed is faster than anyone else. Now, we use the 40 time to see distance and time it takes to cover 40 yards, and it's a good time distance measurable. It's been around forever, and that's why I really hate that people skip it, because I like to see it in the same environment, same constraints, side by side, boom, one right after another. But and I get some people skipping. I'm going to talk about that. That's going to be a different video. I'm going to talk about people skipping and things like that. And I definitely don't think Ashton Jeanty helped himself, especially considering that it was the fastest running back class in the history of them covering it. And he wasn't a part of that. So while he's sitting out, other dudes are raising their stock. And it's already a deep fucking class. So now he just jeopardized himself to be a first-round pick, which I don't think he should be anyways, just because of that. But I'll do that in another video. Anyways. The same thing happened to wide receiver, though. You had what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think they said 11 or 12. I got 10 right now. Ran sub 4.40s. It was the most in a long time. I don't know. So I'm hearing all the 11, 12 dudes running sub 4.40s. Luther Burden runs a 4.41, and they're acting like he's the fastest in the draft. He's a winner. 11 other dudes beat you already. That's not even counting 4.4 flat. Other dudes ran a 4.41. And then out of the 4.41s or whatever, you got the slowest top mile per hour speed. You have the slowest max acceleration. And you only ran 140, which is also bothersome. Why didn't you run it a second time? And it's not like he was done for the day. He ran routes. I mean, that's another thing we're getting into, the gauntlet. Like, people showed the gauntlet, like he had a flawless gauntlet. He had the slowest gauntlet. Well, hold on. He had the third slowest gauntlet. And if you did it over the last 3 years, it would be the third slowest gauntlet. For whatever reason, the worst, slowest gauntlets were this year. Jalen World, sadly, is guilty of that too. So that's a shame because I like Jalen Worlds. I think he's a kind of a light for light possible substitute. He had slower 40 time top speed. Very similar on the 40 time. His 10-yard split was much better, which is good. You know, he accelerates. He gets out of line of scrimmage a little bit earlier for a slot guy. That's good. I don't know. He's a little bit taller. I don't think he's bigger. They're about the same weight. He's coming off a foot injury, though. I don't know if that's still lingering or whatever. I mean, he looked pretty good. It can't be lingering too much, but maybe some of his transitions or it's affecting his top speed or something. I don't know. I'm not here to make excuses. That's what everyone else does. I don't make excuses. I read data, I look at things, and, I put, a rational spin on it. I look at production. I look at everything that I can, all the tangible evidence available to me, and I come up with a conclusion. I'm not here. I can add context to it. I can kind of look at it like I did in 2023. I was like, why did he go so hard at the beginning, but not at the end? Was it because the schedule got harder? Was it because defense is honed in on him? Was it because Cody Schrader was going ape shit? What happened in 2023? Only to come to 2024 and kind of see similar things. Now, obviously, the quarterback got hurt, blah, blah, blah. There was no Cody Schrader, and the quarterback was healthy the first couple of games. He didn't go game busters the first 6 weeks like he did last year. And it's not like he went hard his freshman year. His freshman year, it was just like whatever. So he's got like one small sample size of great production. It was great. He was the number one wide receiver in college football the first 6 weeks. You have this true sophomore leading Marvin Harrison Jr. Then insane. Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas, Xavier Worthy. He was number one out of all that group in college football the first 6 weeks. I get it. I hear you. I was there too. It stopped. Something changed. Figure out what it is. Don't just anoint someone. Crown them. Give them their, roses or whatever. I feel like people fell in love with something and now they're blind. Like they're googly-eyed over them. I don't get it. Am I saying he's going to be a bad pro? No. I'm just saying there's not much that warrants him being ranked as high as he is. And for an NFL team to use a first-round draft pick, and it's also not necessarily him, it's who are you picking him over? Matthew Golden should definitely go ahead of him. It's not even close. And what Matthew Golden did, run a 4.29, his tape was already better. He's an out-wide dude. He can run the slot. He looks more explosive. He catches it with his hands. He's much better at the catch point, attacking it, more physical. And I know people think Luther Burden's physical with the ball in his hands. He's not physical at the catch point. He's not. He gets alligator arms. He doesn't. He's not a fighter at all when it comes. Matthew Golden is one of the best at the catch point. Travis Hunter might be the best, and Ted and the big guys like Jaden Higgins, they obviously pretty good. Typically, that's a big guy thing is contested catches and fighting for it. But Burden doesn't have it. Not more so than some other guys. So I might get back on Burden a little bit, but we're gonna move on. Actually, I am gonna get back on Burden because let's just knock this out first. So here's, like I said, some people are calling him a winner. Let's get rid of the top 5 thing. So these are all the articles that I found. We got Player Profiler on the left. The Luther Burden, the third runs 4.41, 40-yard dash, and shines and drills. Burton's one of the more polarizing draft processes at the NFL Combine, but was one of the top performers overall among wide receivers at the NFL. He was 20th in miles per hour. He was even worse, I think, on 40 time. Well, if there's only 12 subs, so no, I guess he wasn't. Yeah, because some of those dudes. He was maybe like 13th on 40 time. But that's not exactly top performer. I mean, you're not even in the top double digits. And there's a couple 4-4 flats, too. Like, he might not even been in the top 15. Burton had a tremendous sophomore year with over 1,200 receiving, 9 touchdowns. Many are concerned by the huge dip in production his junior year, where he gained only 676 receiving yards. When we asked him at the Combine what led to the, he answered that it came down to a lack of opportunities. That's not true. He was on the field for the same amount of pass snaps as he was in 2023, maybe a little less. Which also doesn't make sense because they're way worse. So you'd think he'd be on the field for a lot more because they'd be playing from behind. But so that's something that maybe you need to look into. He did seem disinterested at times. And that's what kind of brings me to question the 40. Like, why run 140? You could have ran faster. Most people run faster the second time. I feel like the 4.41 is his ceiling. I feel like he did that and he's like, I can't do better than that. Xavier Worthy ran a 4.27 last year. And then he ran it again. And he fucking broke the record. I mean, if you know that you can do something, you're going to do it. I don't know. Maybe his camp is telling him, you just got to achieve this number. But I have no idea. And he went and ran drills. Like, it's not like he was done for the day. Like, why not just run another 40? That's kind of, I don't know. He ran 140, and maybe he could improve on those numbers. I do wish they would show you both heats, because I am curious how players over the 10 yards, their top speed, things like that change from one to another. They only picked the best one, and mostly everyone else ran two. So, yeah, he's at a disadvantage there. But he chose to only run one. So that was his choice. He did that to himself. I don't think it was smart, but maybe he felt like he could only do worse. I don't know. According to this, Burton is still a top 5 ranked receiver prospect and was the only of which to participate in on-field drills in Indianapolis. I guess out of the top 5 ranked. And I guess they're counting Hunter, McMillan, Egbuka. Who's the 5th that didn't? Oh, on-field drills, Golden. Golden didn't do on-field drills. Yeah, he ran the 40. He was done, just like Worthy. It was good to see that he wanted to compete. Okay. And he looked very smooth in his routes and natural in every drill, not dropping a ball. In addition, not dropping a ball. I mean, I guess maybe. I mean, you're playing with random quarterbacks and, if it's in the hands, you shouldn't drop it, but I don't know how many dudes actually drop balls in this shit. And the gauntlet, very few do. That's one thing I read is that he had a perfect gauntlet. So let's play a profile. We got Arthur Johnny Tuma. I'm going to put him on blast just so we know. Johnny Tuma's up in here. So at the top right, we got CBS Sports. That's Josh Edwards. Right up there by the BTTN logo. Look at that guy smoking. Everyone knew he gave him a B. So this dude's actually kind of honest. He gave him a B. Everyone knew Lithia Burton was fast, capable running away from the competition. But his 4.41 dash validated, I believe. His drill work was good, not exceptional. He was a tad loose through the gauntlet drill, but was overall solid. That is honest. That's fair. Thank you. I'm cool with that. And it's a B. It's not a winner. He ran a 4.41. It's good. It's not great. In my opinion, to warrant first-round draft capital, he needed close to a 4.35. I thought the floor that he could run was like a 4.45. So he fell roughly kind of in the middle of what I felt like he needed to do to really solidify himself and what he could do to really hurt himself. So, Josh Edwards, good synopsis. I agree with that. Just below that, we got ESPN, Matt Miller. Burton entered the combine as my top wide receiver, Travis Hunter excluded, and backed that up by running a 4.41 40 at 6 foot 206 pounds. So 4.41 40 6 foot and 206 pounds solidifies being the number one receiver. That's it. When you have the production that he had, or lack thereof. So 676 yards, a 4.440, being 6 foot and 206 pounds. That checks the box for wide receiver 1. Good to know, Matt Miller. That was impressive, especially when compared to the 4.39 run by the 180-pound Isaiah Bond. I love that little like snag there because 4.39, but yeah, he was a mile and a half faster at top speed, I think. 22.8 and 24.17. So, 1.3 miles per hour faster. Who was rumored to be one of the fastest players in this class. He is the fastest player in this class, actually. There's no rumor now. It's solidified. We have data to back that up. He is the fastest in this class at 24.17. I think he's top 5 over the last 3 years. Burton's elite traits weren't featured at Missouri this season. I mean, they weren't featured half of 2023 either, but you don't want to mention that. But he's a big play artist. No, he's not a big play artist because you can't find any mile per hour data on him. You look at most guys in this draft mile per hour data, which typically comes on a big play because you got to have long enough time to, run or be out in space, run in a straight line. The only play that he had that you could have tracked it was against A&M on a busted coverage, and it didn't count because it was a penalty, which I guess is why, no one ran data on it. And I could look at it and do the math myself, but I don't really know how to do that, or I don't like doing that because that's just one source, and that's why I like real analytics and I like the GPS data, because you get multiple examples on that or whatever. You can you got comparable data to other players. Like I'm not just gonna do Burton and not do other people, and it won't give me the top speed. It's like the 40 time. I can do, distance traveled and time it takes to do that distance. I can't get an exact top speed. Anywho, but he's a big play artist who routinely breaks tackles and makes defenders miss. We saw his receiving skills Saturday in the gauntlet drill where he was superb, super smooth, and didn't drop a pass. I maintain that Burton is a top 15 pick. You can maintain it. He very well may be. Scouts may draft in the top 15. I think that's how you lose your job. I mean, honestly, that's how people get fired. You better fucking hit. It's like a Darius Hayward-Bay thing. It's crazy. Anyways, that's Matt Miller of ESPN. And then we got Draft Network by Justin Mello over here at the bottom, right next to my little pretty face. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Luther Burton III was among the high-profile receivers that opted to participate that proved to be a wise decision by Burton, who ran a blazing fast. I love that. 4.41 at 6 foot. The Missouri product was also flawless during the gauntlet drill. We've reached the point in the pre-draft process where what should be a surefire first-round pick is being underrated by the general public. Don't overcomplicate his evaluation. I mean, can we do a thorough evaluation to be honest, though? Because I feel like you're undercomplicating it. I feel like you stopped at October of 2023 and you were like, done. I'm good. Like, the last year and a half doesn't matter. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? I don't know. Am I wrong? David doesn't think so. He doesn't. You can't think, though, with that BDE right there, man. We're over here at the BDE, best damn evaluations. So those are some of the reviews for Burton. Let's take some of these off the screen. I'm trying to do some production stuff. It's not great. We're going to pull up the Isaiah Bond one. This is 247, I think, right? We got some 247 action. Brad Crawford. Isaiah Bond, he's a loser up there. You see at the top, it says loser right above the picture. While former Texas Tech Matthew Golden blazed a 4.3 flat in the 40, Isaiah Bond failed to deliver on his promise of being one of the fastest players at the event. Once again, he was the fastest player at the event. Why are y'all getting paid to write and cover this shit when you don't cover it? Y'all, do you do this for a living? Give me a job. A day after predicting he would break the all-time speed record. Yeah, that was false. That was wrong. Set by Xavier Worthy. Bond clocked a 4.4 flat fast. It's actually a 3.39 officially. But not premier level quick. Bond was inconsistent and dealt with drops during his only season at Texas last fall after playing the 2 previous years under Nick Saban at Alabama. Now, I'm not going to argue. I mean, he had an off year. He was injured. I'm not going to beat my chest over Bond. But I got to tell you, man, if it's between Bond and Burden, because Bond is actually younger than Burden. He's faster than Burden. He's similar to Burden. He's smaller. He's not going to break tackles. He's not that, but they're different. They are different. That's why it's really hard. Burden is... They're not apples to apples. Let's put it that way. But yeah, that was Brad Crawford with 2 for 7. Just blasphemous, basically. How are you a loser? Because you ran a... Burden's a winner for running a 4.41. He's done what he needs to do. He showed his exceptional athleticism, explosiveness, his elite speed, so to speak. I mean, let me get a fucking quote. Let's just get a quote. I want to get a goddamn quote on this. What did he do? That was impressive, blah, blah, blah. No, he didn't really say it. He does call him a big play artist, though. No, he was honest. Ran a blazing fast. There we go. He's calling it blazing fast. It's blazing and it's fast over here. Where's this other dude? Let's get player profiler. In addition, running and measuring. I don't know. Anyways, these motherfuckers use these different adjectives to describe that, and then when it comes to Bond, they want to act like a 4.39 and take it a negative approach. It's better than a 4.41, and he was the fastest. And yeah, he had bad production, with 570 yards. Burton had 670 yards. They both had off seasons. But you can make excuses all day for Burton, but you're not going to make the same for Bond. Injured ankle, more competition for touches. You got Ryan Wingo, you got DeAndre Moore, you got Gunnar and Helm, you got fucking Matthew Golden. Shit, we had Cook there for a minute before he kind of went crazy. I don't know. Jonte Cook lost his fucking mind. Hope he's doing all right, though. I don't want to talk shit about these young men. I mean, they got futures of young men. I just want to be honest and hold some people accountable. Mostly so-called draft experts and people that cover the shit, but also the athlete himself. I mean, I think he's getting misinformation. Why run 140? Why would you do that? Anyways, here's the gauntlet. So this is the top 24 gauntlet people. Jimmy Horman, the fastest gauntlet. Ja'Cory Brooks at 19.71. That's interesting. He refused to run a 40. He was a borderline 5-star prospect at Alabama. He had a good freshman year, but didn't really get it going at Alabama. Goes to Louisville, and him and Tyler Shuck both kind of right-faced this season at Louisville. Isaac Tesla's there again, 19.19. Jaden Higgins, 19.14. He's a 6'4" guy. Isaac Tesla's 6'3.5", 6'4". Ja'Cory Brooks is 6'3". But you got big dudes running the fastest gauntlet. That's pretty cool. Tej Johnson was a loser. He had an awful combine, but good job on the gauntlet. I think he also had the fastest go route. And in all fairness, Burden, I think, had the 3rd fastest go route. Or 2nd fastest. I don't know. Hell, he might have had the fastest go route. I don't know. In the drills at the combine. Keandre Lambert-Smith, he had a great combine. I think he ran a sub 4.4. He's 6 foot. Yeah, I talked about him. Yeah, with the true freshman class and everything. He had 900 yards receiving. He's intriguing. I'm looking at him. Jalen Knowles, same thing. Him and Jaden Higgins. They played together. They kind of split touches. Jalen Knowles was there all 4 years. Higgins was a transfer. He played there the last 2 years, but I think Noel had 700 yards as a sophomore, and then after Higgins got there, I think he had 700, 900. I don't know Holden too much. I know he went to Oregon and stuff, but I didn't watch a lot of film on him. I'm not really excited. Rod Taylor is interesting. He had 900 yards at Memphis. Is he 6'3" too? I think he's tall. 6'2" maybe. Caden Prather, he's 6'2", I think. No, or 6'3". Isaiah Bond's up there. Good job. I didn't know he was that high. There's Andrew Armstrong, Tesla's teammate, who's 6'4", really big guy and fast too. Dante Thornton, the fucking Blazer, ran a 4.3, second fastest mile per hour. 23.77 or 67 or some shit, and yeah, I'm curious where some of these guys go. How much we put into this combine with these guys, and how many excuses we make for them when we look at their film or we look at their situation. Because all these dudes, Andrew Armstrong, Tesla, Thornton, they were in some iffy situations that maybe didn't put them in a position to, succeed completely. And Bond with the injury, Noel having to split touches with Higgins, Ja'Cory Brooks. I mean, it was his first year there. He had his most productive year, but yeah, you got a quarterback and a wide receiver there, not real familiar. Kyle Williams, he loses quarterbacks. He got a different quarterback. I don't know. I'm curious what the narrative is going to be around these guys. But yeah, that's the top 24 on the gauntlet. So we'll pull up the next two, I guess. All right, well, we'll start over here to the left. Ty Felton, 18. Nick Nash is disappointing. He led all receivers in receptions, yards, and touchdowns. I think I talked about him a little bit. He's an ex-quarterback. He was actually a quarterback in college for like 3 years at San Jose State. He's been a wide receiver, I guess, the last 3 years, but he didn't really play much 3 years ago. The last 2 years, he led them in yards. He was their number one receiver the last 2 years. And like I said, this year, he led college football out of receivers. Now, didn't really lead college football because actually the top two guys were tight ends. Ralph Fannin and Tyler Warren led college football in receptions. He did have more yards, I think, than both. Actually, Fannin, I think, led in yards and receptions. It's fucking crazy. He didn't have a great combine either. I might touch on that a little bit. I don't have graphics for it, but I'm not going to do a whole tight end video because Loveland and Warren didn't even fucking participate. So it's kind of Arroyo didn't fucking run. Gadsden didn't fucking run. So it's like, what would I be talking about? I mean, that's some of my favorite fucking tight ends. The only thing I'd really be doing is shitting on Fannin, the only guy who actually fucking participated, and that's not fair. He ran 4.7. I mean, you wanted to be faster. He had a decent mile per hour. He did do something else good, but I can't remember what it was. I think he had the fastest gauntlet out of tight ends. I don't remember. Anyways, we got yeah, Nick Nash ran like a 4.640 or something. I don't know. He's 6'3", very slow top mile per hour. I don't know what to make of him. We'll see. Icon Minor, Jack Beck, both did really good overall. Not the fastest gauntlet though. Did Imanor again over here, so we got them because this is the end of the list. So there's only 3 more left. Isaiah Nair. He's a UT train. He came from Wyoming. He transferred to UT. I'm a UT fan. I mean, hey, we got it right here. Yeah, fucking recognize motherfuckers. So, I'm a little biased maybe. But yeah, he got injured right after transferring, like 3 months after transferring. He transferred in the fall, and I think he was injured before the spring game, torn ACL or something, and really never got going at Texas. Goes to Nebraska, and he had like 400 yards, made some big plays, but man, running a 4.4 flat or something. 6'3", 6'4", long wingspan. Didn't have a great guy. He actually had 4 drops in his gauntlet, I think it's like he dropped one. It was in his head. He dropped like the second pass to him, and after that it was like done. It's like the next 2 or 3 he dropped to. Anyways, Burton 16.95, Jalen Wells 16.91. That's what I was saying. Like Jalen Wells was disappointed too. And Ricky White overall he was a loser. I was excited to see him. Very productive. And man, he's slow. I don't know if he's like a Cooper Kupp kind of guy or something. I mean, you can be slow and still make it, still do some things, but that's yeah, I don't know about all that. But yeah, that's essentially the video, just to put into context. Just to go over the draft a little bit, give y'all my 2 cents about some of the prospects and how they did. Show you some of those next gen stats that's available to you on NFL.com. Go to Combine Home and then go to Combine IQ. It's pretty cool. You can find a lot of those charts, and you can They didn't have all the drills up initially, but there's I mean, they have access apparently to a lot of drills if it's up. The only one they really had was the wide receiver gauntlet. They had all the 40 stuff up, but at the bottom of the screen to the right, right, um, yeah, you can check all the DB, all the tight end, all the defensive linemen, next gen analytical metrics or stats or whatever it is that they do to calculate it. And yeah, hopefully that data is available. That'd be pretty cool. I think that's about it. That I'm doing this video. I mean, it's already 50 minutes. Let's just get out of here. Let's start a new video. Thanks for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed. I don't hate Burden. I don't get why he is being glorified and being rated so high. I feel like they closed the door on anyone competing with him. And they're still trying to argue that he's better than Tet, which is... Tet had 700 yards. Now, granted, he is on the field for 500 passing snaps, but the target data is similar. So the opportunity to shot... I mean, I guess if you're on more passing snaps, you have more opportunity. That's why they go to target share, but yes and no. I mean, maybe. I mean, if you're passing all the time, they can easily just go to a cover 3 or shell coverage. They can easily double team you. It's not necessarily a benefit. I mean, and yeah, look at targets kind of. Look at production. Ultimately, I mean, you can go to the next analytics is kind of about system. So much else that goes into it. And when I look at Burden, his average depth of target over like 3 years is like 9 something. There's no downfield presence, which is probably why he ran the receiver drills to show that he could run other routes. That might be one reason why he took his time on the gauntlet. I don't know why he ran the gauntlet so slow. I mean, he almost looks uninterested. I mean, he didn't run a second 40. They're talking about he wasn't interested. I mean, maybe he doesn't love the game. Maybe he doesn't love competing. I don't know. I'm not trying to like put words, or I'm not trying to, judge a man or young kid. But there are, red flags. There's some, things that should make you pause a little bit. Like, hey, what's going on here? I mean, you're just satisfied with 4.42. And the one that really stands out is Xavier Worthy. I mean, it's not a UT thing. I mean, it could be because he broke the record. But he ran a 4.27, and he ran again. He's like, I'm doing this again. He was not satisfied. He knew he could do better, or he wanted to compete. He wanted that record. I don't know. Everyone runs it twice. Typically, who runs it once? And like 4.4. I mean, there's some people 4.41 should be great, but if you're supposed to be this explosive wide receiver, you have 10 plus dudes, double digit dudes run sub 4.4s. You have a couple other dudes running 4.4s. Why would you not try to improve? Why would you run the gauntlet only to like just jog through it? And, last couple of years, we're using that as like a barometer. We're making it a big deal. With Puka Nacua, we saw with Keon Coleman last year. It's either a big deal or it's not. You can't like pick and choose when you want to make it a big deal. I mean, is it only a compliment if they run it fast and catch every ball? Or can it be a detriment if they just kind of just lackadaisically run through it? They have one of the slowest, even though they catch every ball. Like, I mean, is it a two-way street? Maybe it's just an opportunity to rise and not really fall. I don't know. But those are just some things that I see, and I saw it on the tape. I saw him run some lazy routes. I saw him take plays off. I saw him take mouthpieces out. I saw him hit dudes in the helmet. I saw him throw a ball at a dude. He looked frustrated often. He definitely has some immaturity issues. I saw him get alligator arms over the middle. I did not see him lay out or really dive for any balls that looked really catchable on film. I don't have every angle, and it's hard to see, but it looked like it was within arm's reach. Definitely, if you like lunged at it and stretched your body out, You don't see him get dirty, so to speak. He's not diving. He's not laying out. He's not really going out of his way to make impressive plays, I feel like, when it comes to catching the ball. Now, he runs hard with the ball, but as far as receiving goes and being a receiver, I don't see a lot on film in the last, I don't know, year and a half, last 16 months that, warrants first round draft capital. Is my whole point. I would love you to leave in the comments why I'm wrong. But please, produce some data. I did say that he had less pass snaps. But he does get the target. So I feel like the opportunity is there. I'm really trying. I'm trying to do my due diligence. I'm really trying to, go through this and figure out, hey, cause and effect, A, B, is C true? I don't know. I don't know if A plus B equals C. I'm trying to figure that out. But I am seeing some inconsistencies in others. They love to make excuses for Burden. They love to hold on to prior opinions. Like, they're not letting go of an opinion that was created, I feel like, a long time ago. It's like they locked that away in their safe and they threw away the key. And I get it. You might have saw what you need to see, but I feel like that data is skewed due to the opponents. The level of competition was not high. There's not a lot of DBs getting drafted. Those defenses all ranked outside the top 90 in pass defense. And he played some this year that were not as good. And he didn't continue to, go game buster. He didn't continue to dominate or really light it up against those teams. I mean, he didn't light it up really against anyone this year. Maybe Boston College. I don't know. UMass, he had he had some highlights against UMass. I think he was off the field because they blew him out. So he didn't play the whole game. I don't know. And that's another thing. You watch his film or you watch all targets and catches, and, he's not even a part of the game. I mean, there's, maybe a quarter goes by and he's only had 2 punt returns. Those were only his 2 touches. And, 15 minutes of footage or gameplay. That's crazy to me. I mean, and that could be Missouri's fault. That could be, the lack of opportunities. But even with the opportunity, he had more missed tackles forced. He had 30 this year. I think he had 23 last year. And he has almost half the yards. So stop looking at the missed tackles forced. Stop looking at when you're getting the ball behind or at the line of scrimmage, out in space, attacking dudes one-on-one in college who, aren't the best of it. You see Nick Umuyiwori, he fucking tackles him. You see Malachi Moore, he fucking tackles him. He ain't breaking those tackles. He's breaking fucking UMass. He's breaking Boston College. He's breaking fucking tackles of people that ain't sniffing the NFL. So, look at the roster. Look at the people he's going up against. Look at whose tackles he's breaking. Look at what happens when he breaks these tackles. Does he gain yards? Does he make a play? I mean, is it just meaningless broken tackles? I mean, there's some he breaks a tackle and he actually loses a yard. Yeah, there's some he turns something into nothing. He runs all the way sideline to sideline and gets a first down on some play. It should have been a 5-yard loss. I'm not saying he sucks. I'm not saying he's outside of making a play. I'm just saying, how can you put him top 15? How can you put him over Jaden Higgins or Matthew Golden, Egbuka? I mean, I don't see how you can put him over some people. And if you're drafting that high, you better use them. That's another thing I'm looking at. How many offenses could really use them? We compare him to Deebo Samuel, and I get it. That's cool. We compare him to some other people. But he could be Malachi Corley. He could be Jonathan Mingo. He could be. He's more Jaden Reed, probably, just bigger version of it than anything. And you saw Jaden Reed kind of regress this past year. Once defenses get used to seeing it, realize, hey, you're going to run these gadget plays, you're going to try to get this person the ball, it's pretty easy to hone in on it when they're not full receivers, when they're not real experienced in the nuance of playing receiver and actually being a receiver, just kind of a gadget player. And that's what he appears to be to me. I mean, most of his touches are design touches, legit screens where no one's doing anything. You're going to tell grown man wide receivers and offensive linemen, offensive coordinators and head coaches' jobs on the line to get this individual design touches and them not be productive. Like you running on first down and you lose 2 yards. Now you're behind the chains. It's second and long. The best time to run those type of plays is probably in second and long, because a team's gonna probably be a little more laxed off. You maybe ran the ball and you got negative 2 yards, or maybe you got a holding penalty. It's first and 15. Like those are the best times to run those type of plays. It's an extension of the running game. It gets the defense going left to right. Lets you use your lateral quickness and lateral speed and misdirection, put people in motion, and yeah, you use a little gadget play, you use like jet sweeps, screens, what have you, some kind of that spread RPO shit. That's when you use it. But like, you have to be productive with it, and we've seen for a year and a half it not be productive. You want to talk about Missouri not using them right, not going to them? Maybe there's a reason they didn't, because it stopped working. Defenses started stopping it. He wasn't able to create a lot out of it. So I don't know. 30 missed tackles forced. Led his team on receptions, 61 receptions, I think, on like 80 targets, 679 yards. DOE's had almost 900 yards. I think like 878, 880 yards on 2 less receptions. In the same situation, same team, same quarterback. Drew Pine or Brady Cook, whichever one was throwing the ball. And mind you, all this was evident in 2023 too. If you exclude the first 6 games, his catches, yards, usage, production, it's very similar to 2024. Might as well be a prequel. It's the fucking preamble, all right? That was what was more to come. Not beginning 2023, late 2023. It's probably who Burden is. And that's all I'm trying to say with that. Still a day 2 pick. I don't think he's a top 50 guy, but he's definitely a top 100 guy. Anywhere from 50 to 100. You pick him there. If you want to take a flyer on him early second, that's cool. Hey, you want to go late first with him, fuck it. If you're picking him over, if there's like a run on wide receiver. If there's actually other wide receivers on the board, or I guess it depends on what you need, because he is different than Higgins. He's different than some others. And if you're like Kyle Shanahan, maybe you just trade Deebo Samuel. Like, if that's one person I know that will use him right. If Deebo Samuel went to any other team, like everyone's hopping on the Deebo Samuel bandwagon and saying all this stuff. And he was pretty good at South Carolina. South Carolina used him right, but if Deebo Samuel goes to any other NFL team, he probably isn't Deebo Samuel. He probably doesn't have Deebo Samuel's career. So that's a big part of this too. It's like the team has to be committed to using him the right way. And if that's the case, hey, then you know what you're doing, and you're gonna take full advantage, I guess, of his skill set. I just don't think there's that many teams that can or will. He's a luxury item at this point, because he's not really a number 2 wide receiver. He's not even really a slot wide receiver. He's like a gadget wide receiver. He can play in the slot. He only plays in the slot. But even in the slot, like, he's not getting heavy usage. He's not running a full route tree. He's not really getting open or finding holes in zones. He's not really catching the I don't know. His film just leaves a lot to be desired. He's not making a lot of the same plays that you see made by other receivers, and that's just where I'm at. But he's young. There's tons of potential there. He is athletic. He's not the most explosive guy in the draft that some would have you believe, but he's not the slowest either. He's not Ricky White. He's not Nick Nash. He's fast. But yeah, he's not elite fast. It's not elite speed. It is elite ball carrying ability, playmaking ability. But you got to get the ball in his hands, and he is not elite at that either. So you got to get creative with him, and you can do it, and you can benefit from it. Yeah. Anyways, that's the final Burden take. I'll do like a rankings video here in a little while. I'm gonna have to go and assess it and really think about it, and it's hard to rank them right now. But yeah, I've gone. It's an hour long now. I was supposed to end this like 10 minutes ago. All right. Peace out, y'all. Thanks y'all for watching. Like and subscribe. Check out my other shit too. Peace.